Yes, people that are securely attached can find themselves in a relationship with somebody who turns out to be an avoidant. Many avoidants will actually present themselves as secure attachers early on, and their avoidant tendencies, their emotional unavailability, shows up later in the relationship. Now, many of these formerly securely attached people will find themselves feeling quite anxious, especially as this relationship comes to an end. Now, they allowed themselves to become anxious due to the erosion of their own boundaries, not holding boundaries with the avoidant. When you don't hold boundaries, you lose trust in yourself. You lose confidence in your ability to navigate a relationship in a healthy way. You also subconsciously tell yourself the message that your wants, your needs, your feelings don't matter. And you're walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around this person to prevent triggering them out of fear that they might leave the relationship. That's the way to become an anxiously attached person. It is very possible to start out secure and wind up anxious after a relationship with an avoidant. The securely attached people that stay secure are the ones who have and hold boundaries, the ones who hold them with the avoidant. Your boundaries are your limits of what you will and will not tolerate, what you want, don't want, and what you need and don't need. They can also be your expectations that you set out. When you hold these, typically, yes, a severe avoidant will not respect them. They will generally run from them because your expectations are overwhelming, and this is a person that feels like they can't meet your needs because they weren't good enough in childhood, so they're certainly not going to be able to meet your needs as an adult, and they often run from the relationship. And people, well, they can sense this. Your subconscious, your intuition can sense that this person will run if you hold boundaries. If you enforce your wants and needs, this person's likely to just bolt from the relationship. And that right there is why many people do not hold boundaries with the avoidant out of fear of losing them. But if this person was unwilling to meet your wants and needs, if you assert your wants and needs and they run, they were never going to meet your wants and needs. And a truly securely attached person knows that. A person that is determined to stay secure knows that. And yes, it can be painful to lose the relationship. However, the consequences of not holding boundaries are always so much worse than the consequences of holding boundaries. Because if you don't hold boundaries, you're allowing essentially a doomed relationship or an unhealthy relationship to continue and prolong way past its natural expiration date. A healthy relationship involves two partners that both respect each other's wants, needs, and boundaries. Avoidance, especially severe ones, they're so insecure that they're only hyper-focused on their own wants, needs, and feelings, and they're not really able to put an emphasis or a focus on their partner's feelings. That's why they don't generally respond well, or react well rather, when you assert your expectations or your boundaries. It is a sad thing to lose a relationship, but if this person never was concerned about your wants and needs, what kind of relationship was it? So yes, many people are secure. They feel good, they feel secure. They're not anxious people going into a relationship. But when they get into that relationship with the avoidant, the push-pull, the hot-cold, the coming and going, and it ends up being a relationship that is one way, where the avoidant is completely catered to and the wants and needs of the other partner are neglected, that is the recipe for anxiousness. No boundaries. That is how you go from being a secure, confident person to being an anxious wreck. That said, your boundaries will help you come back into the land of secure attachment. Because if you get truly in touch with your boundaries, big and small, and you recognize that holding boundaries doesn't need to be confrontational, it can be as simple as saying, no, this doesn't work for me. When you recognize that your boundaries are essential and you can trust yourself to hold them even when it's hard, you will regain your confidence and come back into the land of secure attachment. But if you continue to not hold them and enforce them, you can stay as an anxious attacher and allow yourself to get into prolonged relationships with emotionally unavailable people, such as avoidance or even worse, narcissists.